from Tenerife. I haven't been with you for quite a while, and I'd like to say that I've been very busy, but actually I probably haven't because, you know, I haven't done an awful lot of work. But to those of you who haven't seen me for a long time, lovely to speak to you all again. And the reason I haven't been doing it is because Marco's been very busy filming all of the island and doing wonderful videos and has had no time when he comes back to film me. So, Marco, it's your fault.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. This evening, I'm going to make something called a Keralan, Keralan fish curry. And this is a very, very special curry that's beautiful. And I had never heard of it and never had it before until we were invited round to some friend's house for supper. They spent 2 years ago, I think they spent several months in India, and that's where they got the recipe from. Fish curry is very, very prevalent in India. They're not very much meat eaters, mainly vegetarian and fish. So it has to be specific. You can't just say, I'm using curry paste or I'm using any curry spices. You have to use exactly what I tell you. So before I go over to the cooker, I'm going to tell you what's going in it. And I have to put my glasses on because I can't see. First of all, we have the spices. Now the spices are in my porter and messel. It's not a porter and messel. It's, what is it, Marco?
I don't know, what is it in English?
Pestle and mortar. Sorry, just things like that really. I've only had a few sips of my gin as well. I can't even blame the gin. My porter and messel, or my messel and mortar, pestle and mortar. Pestle and mortar, pestle and mortar. Okay, sorry. He's probably going to cut that out. I think it's funny, but he'll probably cut it out. So in here we've got mustard seeds, whole mustard seeds, fenugreek, fennel seeds, and a few cumin seeds. So I've put a large teaspoon of all of those in, but not a large teaspoon of the cumin seeds. I've then put a little bit of dried red chilli. I would put fresh red chilli, but I haven't got any. There's a couple of things I've not been able to get today, so I'm going to make it without those. Then we have garlic, ginger and curry leaves. You can get curry leaves in any of the Indian supermarkets, and all you do is sort of break them up a little bit. You don't want them to be eating those. So in here we've got the garlic and the ginger. We've got lemon zest. We've got onions, and very specifically only yellow and red peppers, because this is a sweetish curry, and if you put the green ones in, they are not so sweet. And it actually does specify small tomatoes, the cherry tomatoes. So we've got 200 grams of those, 1 yellow pepper, 1 red pepper, and 3 onions. That's only 2, but that's all I could be bothered chopping up. Okay, what else is there? Oh, here we have a whole tin of coconut milk. Very, very, very important. Most fish curries are cooked in coconut. Now, for this you can use any type of fish you want, and you just put it raw into your sauce. But I have got some prawns which I have deveined, they're over there, and I'm just going to stir fry them in a little bit of butter and a little bit of lemon juice, and then put them in at the end. Actually, any sort of fish will do. You can put salmon, whitefish, smoked fish, and the prawns, anything. And if you've got any of the prawn shells, you can boil them up for fish stock. So, if you need to look at those ingredients again, go back on what I've said and get everything prepped up first.
I'm going to write that down in the video description so everybody can read it later, yeah?
Oh, so I didn't need to say it all.
No, yes, but it's just for... no
Okay,
problem.
and sorry about me getting Porter and Messel mixed up.
Do we go over to the cooker now, Anna? Okay, see you then.
To start off with, I'm putting the onions in with a little bit of the clarified butter. You might have seen in a previous video Marco made clarified butter. It's extremely easy, or ghee as they call it in India. If you haven't got this, oil is okay. So what we're doing now is caramelising these onions, just browning them a little bit, okay? So now we have nearly browned the onions. They've started to soften and just go a little bit brown. I am adding those spices which I tried to grind up, but they don't grind properly. We've got to cook these spices for quite a long time. I'm going to simmer this curry for a long time. I'll tell you about that after. So in with that as well, that's the mustard seeds, the fenugreek, the cumin and fennel. And here we've got curry leaves, garlic and ginger, grated ginger and finely chopped up garlic going into that. Now you should never cook too much on too much of a hot heat garlic, otherwise it goes bitter. So that's why I didn't put it in right at the beginning. I'm now going to add the peppers and the cherry tomatoes. Little bit of a stir around. Amalgamate, Marco's very favourite word. He's German, you see, and he'd never heard this word amalgamate, and now he uses it all the time. I think he's
to wind you up.
fascinated with amalgamate. Some black pepper. I would actually normally use ground black pepper from the grinder, but my grinder seems to have given up the ghost. And then a little bit of sea salt, pinch like that. I'm going to put a little bit of turmeric, because I do like it to be coloured a bit. It isn't actually in the recipe. We're then going to add, do you think this is fried enough? Well, probably you should fry it a little bit more, but I'm going to add all the coconut milk. Marco's trying to take this off me, but I'm actually going to scrape that out, Marco, so you can't throw it away. That will be simmering for a little bit. Right, okay, I'm just sealing the prawns with a tiny little bit of the ghee or oil or whatever you've got. As soon as they're sealed, they go into the curry, which has been braising for about 3/4 of an hour. Turn that one off. There, and then I shall add the lemon zest. Went in a little while ago so that it got some lemony flavour. Now it's the lemon juice going in, and coriander stalks. I only had some stalks left, and I'm finding it hard to get fresh coriander at the moment, so this was the leftover of what I had in my fridge. So we've got the flavours of the coriander, the lemon and the fish. Now, as I said before, I'm just making this with prawns because that's what I had in my freezer, but if I had some fresh white fish, I would put that in now, and within 3-4 minutes it would be cooked. So here we've got a beautiful fish curry with a very, very mild coconut flavour, but quite spicy with chilies and the spices that you saw me put in. I am going to eat that, serve that with pilo rice that I cooked earlier. And next I'm going to show you how to make the flatbread that goes with it as well. Now, to go with the beautiful Keralan curry, the perfect thing, apart from a little bit of rice, is a flatbread. Now, flatbreads can be made in many different ways, but I have a recipe which is very, very easy, and I'm just going to tell you what I did to get this dough, because it's self-explanatory. You get 350 grams of self-raising flour, 1 teaspoonful of baking powder, and 3 of these little cartons of natural yogurt. And all you do is stir them all together and then work it together with your hands so that it's in a round ball. That's half of it, because I've rolled some out already. Now, it doesn't need kneading, that's why it's so simple, but rest it for about 10 minutes before you roll it out. You then cut it in half, like that, and then each half into half again, and each one into 3. So that from each half you have 6 pieces. You then get your piece, a little bit of flour on the board, flour on your rolling pin, and roll it out. Now, you might be saying to yourself, oh, but there are bits in that. Well, that's because flatbreads can be quite boring. I know they get dipped into the curry, and I know that they're quite tasty. So in order to not make this boring, I found some pistachio nuts. I chopped them up, I put those in, and there was a few parsley stalks, and I put those in. You could put coriander, you could put a little bit of garlic in it, you can put what you want in a flatbread, or they're absolutely fine on their own. Now, I'm not going to roll these out now because that would be boring. Then all we want is 3 little cuts across the top, not all the way through. We're now going to go over to the griddle pan and we dry fry them. So they're really simple. This is a griddle pan, and it's been on for about 5 minutes, so it's very hot. I'm going to put the flatbreads in like that and leave them until they start to brown on the other side and hopefully puff up a bit. I haven't actually made these before, so keep your fingers crossed, Marco. You're not going to eat them anyway, are you?
Both crossed. Maybe.
Where's my gin?
I don't know. In the bottle.
In the bottle. I normally say, where's the tonic? Because I don't have any. Right, this is getting a bit boring because this should be puffing up now. Let me just have a little look. No, let's leave it a little bit longer. So these have been about 5 minutes, and you see they're starting to brown on the sides, on both sides, and that's how you want your flatbread to be. This one is not quite browned enough yet, but it is on that side there. You must remember these from the Indian restaurant. And then these are beautiful to dip into the curry, which I will show you at the end before I eat it. Okay, everybody, this is the most beautiful finished result. The flatbreads, which you can actually break up and dip in. Dip in, absolutely gorgeous. Prawns. Now in this you could also put spinach or green beans or whatever you want, but it tastes so delicate and beautiful.
Bon appetit!